In this comprehensive and immersive video, we're going to dive deeply into the emotional landscape of relationships and focus on one critical aspect that many people struggle with: recognizing disrespect and learning how to respond in a way that preserves and even enhances your self-worth. This video is designed for anyone who has ever felt belittled, dismissed, manipulated, or simply not valued in a romantic partnership. More specifically, we'll be zeroing in on 4 telltale signs she doesn't respect you, and exploring a powerful Stoic approach to regain your self-worth. By understanding these key indicators and implementing timeless Stoic principles, you'll learn not only how to identify disrespect before it does lasting damage, but also how to stand firm in your values, maintain emotional balance, and cultivate greater confidence in the way you relate to others. The reality is that modern relationships can often be fraught with challenges. Pressures from work, financial stresses, cultural expectations, and the pull of social media can all strain communication and empathy. It's easy to find yourself entangled in a situation where your partner's behaviors, whether intentionally hurtful or subconsciously dismissive, chip away at your sense of self. You might start questioning your worth, wondering if you're being too sensitive, or blaming yourself for the tension. However, acknowledging that certain patterns indicate a lack of respect is not about assigning blame. It's about stepping into clarity. Once you recognize disrespect, you can make informed decisions about your future, whether that means working together to address harmful dynamics or ultimately choosing to leave a situation that undermines your dignity. In this video, we will highlight 4 specific behaviors that serve as telltale signs she doesn't respect you. These are not minor oversights or occasional missteps. Instead, they represent repeated patterns that can significantly erode trust, self-confidence, and emotional well-being. First, we'll look at constant criticism and belittling. Criticism that is neither constructive nor kindly delivered can gradually wear down your self-esteem. The words might be subtle digs that question your intelligence or competence, or outright insults that make you feel worthless. According to relationship research from sources like the Gottman Institute, contempt and constant criticism are strong predictors of long-term dissatisfaction. When you encounter this pattern, it's essential to understand that persistent belittling is more about the disrespectful person's own insecurities than it is about you. Yet, left unchecked, such criticism can distort your self-image, leaving you feeling like nothing you do is good enough. The second sign is the disregard of your boundaries and opinions. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect, where both partners' voices matter. If your expressed needs for personal space, time alone, or certain emotional comforts are consistently brushed aside, this signals a lack of regard for your individuality. Likewise, when your opinions are routinely dismissed or trivialized, it creates an environment in which you feel unheard and powerless. Studies by mental health professionals underscore that personal boundaries are not luxuries, they are necessities for emotional well-being. When boundaries are broken, the result is often a sense of confusion, frustration, and diminished self-worth. The third sign is emotional manipulation and gaslighting, a particularly insidious form of disrespect. Gaslighting involves twisting facts, denying past statements, or making you doubt your own perceptions. Emotional manipulation can take many forms. Maybe your partner frequently blames you for their own issues, plays the victim to avoid taking responsibility, or uses guilt and fear to control your behavior. Organizations focused on domestic violence awareness, such as the National Domestic Violence Hotline, highlight that even subtle emotional manipulation can escalate into more severe forms of abuse if not recognized early. Being aware of these tactics is the first step in maintaining your emotional equilibrium and protecting your mental health. The fourth sign is a lack of empathy or genuine listening. If you find that your achievements are dismissed, your sorrows are brushed aside, or your partner rarely makes an effort to understand your perspective, it shows a fundamental absence of care. This can manifest as constant interruptions during conversations, ignoring your emotional struggles, or showing indifference to your personal growth. Research has consistently linked empathy to relationship satisfaction, noting that when empathy is absent, partners feel isolated and misunderstood. Over time, a relationship devoid of empathy drains your emotional reserves and leaves you questioning your worth as a partner and as an individual. Recognizing these four signs, constant criticism, boundary violations, emotional manipulation, and lack of empathy, is only half the battle. Once you see these patterns for what they are, you may ask, what now? How can I reclaim my sense of self-worth, reestablish my confidence, and either improve the dynamic or walk away if necessary? This is where the Stoic approach comes into play. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy practiced by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius Seneca and Epictetus, emphasizes focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, judgments, and actions, while learning to remain unmoved by external negativity. Rather than viewing Stoicism as emotional suppression, understand it as a means to cultivate rationality, virtue, and emotional resilience. Its principles encourage you to develop an inner fortress, one fortified by wisdom and character, so that disrespect or manipulation from others cannot shake your core. One practical Stoic-inspired technique is journaling. By keeping a daily record of your interactions, emotions, and reactions, you gain insight into patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed. Journaling allows you to reflect on moments of disrespect, identify triggers, and recognize the difference between your partner's behavior and your internal narrative. Over time, these written reflections help you clarify what is and isn't acceptable in your life. This aligns with modern psychological practices as well. Research shows journaling can reduce anxiety, improve emotional regulation, and foster better decision-making. Another Stoic practice is the concept of premeditatio, malorum, anticipating potential challenges before they arise. Imagine the type of disrespectful comment or boundary violation that might occur and plan a calm, value-driven response. Rather than being caught off guard and reacting impulsively, you approach the situation with composure. By mentally rehearsing your boundaries and envisioning yourself responding with dignity, you are less likely to be rattled when it actually happens. This rational preparation reduces anxiety and strengthens your resolve to stand by your principles. Perhaps the most critical Stoic principle in this context is focusing on your core virtues and values. Instead of defining your worth by external validation, such as your partner's praise or acceptance, you anchor yourself in virtues like honesty, courage, patience, and compassion. Ask yourself, am I acting with integrity? Am I treating myself and others ethically? By centering on what you know to be morally right and intrinsically valuable, you free yourself from the need to gain approval from someone who refuses to offer respect. This shift from seeking external validation to upholding internal virtues can be profoundly liberating. As you implement these strategies, setting and enforcing clear boundaries becomes easier. You learn to say, I need you to understand that I will not tolerate insults, or I value my personal space and will take it when I need it. These statements are not demands. They are declarations of who you are and what you deserve. Your partner may resist at first, especially if they've grown accustomed to a dynamic where your voice was marginalized. But by standing firm, you communicate that your self-worth is non-negotiable. In some cases, maintaining dignity might mean choosing to leave the relationship. While this can be painful, remember that you are responsible for your emotional well-being. If your partner shows no willingness to understand or change their behavior, Stoicism reminds you to accept reality as it is rather than clinging to an idealized version of the relationship. You cannot control whether another person respects you, but you can control whether you remain in an environment that undermines your worth. Leaving with your integrity intact, guided by your virtues, can be a powerful step toward healing and personal growth. Consider real-life examples to understand how these principles apply. Picture someone named Daniel, who spent months feeling undervalued by his partner, Lisa. She frequently criticized his career choices, made jokes at his expense in front of friends, and dismissed his feelings whenever he tried to express concern. Initially, Daniel blamed himself, thinking he was too sensitive. But through reflection, he identified these patterns as disrespect. He began journaling daily, noting the remarks Lisa made and how they affected his mood. He practiced premeditatio malorum by imagining how he would respond the next time she mocked his ambitions, deciding to firmly but calmly say, "I work hard, and my goals matter to me. I won't accept being belittled." He focused on virtues like honesty and self-respect, reminding himself that he deserved a partner who recognized his value. When Lisa again made a disparaging comment, Daniel responded precisely as he had rehearsed, calm, clear, and unwavering. Though it led to a difficult conversation, it marked the turning point where Daniel reclaimed control of his narrative. Over time, Lisa either had to respect him or he would remove himself from the situation. This approach can also apply if you're unsure about leaving. You might choose to seek couples therapy, share your reflections with your partner, or explore communication exercises recommended by experts from organizations like the Gottman Institute. If your partner shows empathy and willingness to change, you can rebuild trust based on mutual respect. But if attempts at constructive dialogue fail, Stoicism supports your ability to stand on your own 2 feet and move forward independently. Some people worry that practicing Stoicism means becoming cold or unfeeling. On the contrary, Stoicism encourages compassion and understanding, both for yourself and for others. It acknowledges that people who disrespect you may be driven by their own insecurities or past traumas. While this does not excuse their behavior, it can help you respond without bitterness or revenge. Instead, you remain composed, empathetic to the human condition, but unwavering in your boundary setting and self-protection. The beauty of Stoicism is that it does not require anyone else's cooperation. Your personal growth and emotional health no longer hinge on another person's approval. This autonomy can be deeply empowering. As you progress, you'll likely notice a transformation in your self-talk. Rather than saying, "I must be doing something wrong for her to treat me this way," you shift to, "I know my worth, and if someone can't treat me respectfully, that reflects on them, not me." By internalizing these messages, you reduce the emotional upheaval that comes with disrespectful behavior. You start to see that, while you can't control another person's conduct, you can always control your response, your choices, and ultimately, your life path. Answering some common questions might help solidify these concepts. For instance, you might wonder, what if she never changes? Stoicism teaches acceptance of reality. If she never changes, you must decide whether you can live happily with that. If the answer is no, the Stoic approach encourages you to prioritize your well-being and leave the situation without guilt or regret. Another question might be, how do I remain calm when I feel attacked? Stoicism suggests pausing to examine your initial emotional reaction. Consider what is truly under your control, the content of your character, your decision to maintain poise, and let go of what is not. Deep breathing, a brief mental break, or a reminder of your values can help you respond calmly. Or you may wonder, could these techniques help in non-romantic relationships? Absolutely. The principles discussed here, recognizing disrespect, setting boundaries, embracing Stoic resilience, apply to friendships, family relationships, and professional settings. Anywhere you encounter disrespect, these strategies can help maintain your inner equilibrium. Throughout this journey, keep in mind that there's no shame in seeking professional help. A licensed therapist or counselor trained in relationship dynamics, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, or Stoic-informed coaching can provide personalized guidance. Such experts can reinforce the insights you gain here and help you navigate complex emotions, ensuring you don't feel alone as you work towards a healthier relationship with yourself and others. As you progress, also consider connecting with communities that discuss Stoicism or personal development. There are online forums, social media groups, and workshops dedicated to applying Stoic principles to modern life. Engaging with others who share similar goals or experiences can provide additional support, encouragement, and perspective. By learning from each other's stories, you'll realize that many people have overcome similar challenges. Now that we have covered these points, let's recap and encourage you to take action. You've learned about the 4 telltale signs she doesn't respect you: constant criticism, ignoring your boundaries and opinions, emotional manipulation and gaslighting, and a lack of empathy or genuine listening. You now have a Stoic-based toolkit for addressing these issues: journaling to gain clarity, practicing premeditatio malorum to prepare composed responses, focusing on core virtues for inner strength, and setting firm boundaries to protect your self-worth. Armed with this knowledge, you can step forward confidently. Acknowledge your feelings, analyze the patterns, and decide what aligns with your values. Whether you try to improve the relationship, seek external help, or walk away, do so with your head held high, guided by reason, compassion, and integrity. Don't let anyone's disrespect define you. Your worth is not determined by external opinions, but by the quality of your character, the consistency of your actions, and the depth of your principles. You have the power to stand firm, to grow beyond the confines of a toxic dynamic, and to cultivate a life that reflects your true value. Now I'd like to invite you to engage further. If you found value in this video, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from these insights. We encourage you to join the conversation. Leave a comment, share your stories or struggles, and ask questions. How have you navigated situations where your partner didn't respect you? Have you tried any Stoic techniques, and what results did you see? Your experiences can help others who are seeking guidance and foster a supportive community of growth-oriented individuals. Also, feel free to explore additional resources. You might download a free Stoic-inspired worksheet to reflect on your boundaries, or sign up for a newsletter where we share more guidance on applying philosophical wisdom to everyday challenges. By taking these steps, you reinforce your commitment to personal development and emotional resilience. As you move forward, remember that true self-worth comes from within. External validation, praise, or acceptance can feel good, but relying on them as the core of your identity leaves you vulnerable. By rooting yourself in the Stoic principles of inner virtue and rational perspective, you build an unshakable foundation that can withstand disrespect. You transform from someone who reacts to external pressures into someone who calmly navigates challenges, confident in their principles and certain of their worth. So, take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed. Consider how these 4 signs manifest in your life or the lives of people you know. Think about how you might apply Stoic insights to respond differently. Maybe you'll start by writing down a conversation that upset you, analyzing it for patterns of disrespect, and then planning a more balanced response next time. Or perhaps you'll practice reframing a hurtful remark by reminding yourself that your value doesn't hinge on someone else's words. Over time, as you consistently use these techniques, you'll likely notice significant changes. You'll become more secure, less anxious about pleasing others, and more determined to nurture relationships that honor your dignity. And if you find yourself in a situation where you must walk away, you'll do so without bitterness, because you understand that your peace is more important than clinging to a connection that doesn't respect your humanity. In essence, this journey is about transforming hardship into growth. Disrespect can be painful, but it can also serve as a catalyst for personal development. By embracing a Stoic approach, you turn adversity into opportunity, refining your character and strengthening your resolve. You set higher standards for how you should be treated and develop the emotional discipline to uphold them. Ultimately, this creates room in your life for healthier, more fulfilling relationships, ones where mutual respect, understanding, and empathy abound. Before we conclude, let's reaffirm the importance of action. Insight is valuable, but transformation occurs when you apply what you've learned. Reflect on your situation, Are you experiencing any of these 4 signs of disrespect? If so, which Stoic strategy resonates with you most? Will you start journaling, practice premeditatio malorum, focus on core virtues, or fortify your boundaries first? Pick a concrete step and commit to it today. Take the first small action toward reclaiming your self-worth. And if you find these practices helpful, continue exploring the world of Stoicism. Its teachings go far beyond relationships, offering guidance on everything from managing stress and anxiety to cultivating compassion and forgiveness. The more you internalize these timeless insights, the more confident, resilient, and centered you become in all areas of life. As you navigate this path, remember you're not alone. Many have stood where you stand, faced similar challenges, and emerged stronger. Use their stories, along with the resources and communities available, to bolster your resolve. Together, we can foster a culture of healthier relationships and more self-aware individuals. So, take this moment to recommit to your worth, acknowledge what you deserve, and employ the Stoic approach to forge a brighter, more authentic future. Don't just watch this video, live it. Let these insights guide your choices and shape your mindset, and watch as you regain your self-worth, one respectful, thoughtful step at a time.